So the holidays are right around the corner and you're trying to figure out what's the best gift to get for the Overlander in your life. Or you just need some suggestions for yourself when people ask, well, what do you want for Christmas? So I've compiled a list of some of my favorite gear to make the Overlander in your life happy and not just go, so I've compiled a list of gear that goes in the rig every single trip, except for one. There's one item on this list that's actually on my Christmas wish list, but I included it anyway because it really does stand out from the crowd. So stay tuned to see what product that is and let me know if you agree. So first up, we've got Ecoflow. They're running some amazing Black Friday deals right now. So you can actually get the Ecoflow Delta 2 and their 800 watt alternator charger for around $599. I paid close to $800 for that setup just this past July, so get it while you can. The Delta 2 is a 1024 watt hour workhorse of a solar generator that may not be Ecoflow's latest and greatest, but it's still a great battery pack, hands down. And couple that with their new 800 watt alternator charger, and it's a total game changer for overlanding. No more need for solar panels, seriously. You can charge up the Delta 2 from dead to 100% in an hour and 20 minutes via your car battery and this amazing charger packed into this sleek unit. My real world experience is that by morning, my Delta 2 after use throughout is about around 70 to 80%. But after about 30 minutes of driving, I'm fully charged back up to full. So when you hit camp for the night after you've been driving all day, you've got a full charge. The logic packed into the alternator charger is awesome. It'll vary the charge rate based on the voltage of the car battery to make sure that your car battery is always at full charge and isn't putting too much of a load on it. On top of that, it actually has a really cool feature where you can reverse the charge direction and use your Delta 2 to charge up your car battery if need be. With a tap of a button in the app, you can charge your dead car battery. It's just awesome peace of mind, really. The whole bundle doesn't get any more plug and play. It's literally 2 cables. You connect one end of the 15-foot cable to your car battery and ground, and then you just connect the other end to the alternator charger and use the included 3-foot cable to connect the Ecoflow units together. Every connection is marked and keyed. You literally cannot mess it up. The best part is there's no crimping, there's no speccing the right cable, there's no worrying if you did something wrong on a custom install and risk catching your whole rig on fire. The Ecoflow alternator charger is literally about as plug and play as you can get. It doesn't get any easier. I'll have actually a full review of this setup posted soon, but in the meantime, seriously, just go get one. At this price, it's a no-brainer. Now, the one drawback to the Ecoflow setup is they do have proprietary connectors. So prior to owning my Delta 2, I was using a Blue Yeti EB70. The entire Blue Yeti line is really high quality as well, and I suggest you definitely check them out. And they actually just came out with their version of the alternator charger. It does have some pros and cons depending on your use case. It only charges at 500 watts versus 800 watts of the Ecoflow, and you'll have to run and crimp your own cables. But with that flexibility, what it allows is you can use the Blue Yeti with any solar generator out there regardless of brands. So even if you don't have a Blue Yeti solar generator, that's okay. You can still use it. So definitely check that out as well. Next up, we have MTM Cases. I did a full review of these cases earlier, but I've been using these cases for around 8 years now for overlanding. And not only are they really durable and lightweight and waterproof and dustproof, they start at about $20. They're the perfect size to organize all your gear and they're stackable. You really can't beat these things. There's a bunch of different sizes available and they're all modular. I really think, seriously, this is the best hands down overlanding storage bins on the market for the price today. All right, let's move on to Blackstone Adventure Ready camp stoves. I've had a number of different camp stoves in my time and hands down, this is definitely one of my favorites. They have a couple different models. I prefer the one with the 14-inch griddle and the burner on the side. The griddle is a non-stick coated aluminum, so you'll have to use plastic cooking utensils, but that's no problem because Blackstone sells a whole set of tools and accessories for this. Also be sure to check out the collapsible steaming dome and disposable grease tray pans. They're great to have. And this stove is only available exclusively at Walmart. I'd really suggest you buy it online and either ship it to your house or do an in-store pickup because it can be kind of a crapshoot if your local Walmart will have it in stock. They come in around $140 and they're obviously popular and they sell out fast. So order it online through the links in the description below. All right, let's talk toilets. As weird as it might seem to give someone a toilet for Christmas, a Thetford camp toilet is the new Overlander's must-have. So there's plenty of knockoff versions of the Thetford toilets out there. But for something like this, I'm definitely going to go with tried and true dependable brand. And the last thing you want is your cheap camp toilet leaking as you're bouncing down some off-road trail. I've had Thetford toilets for years now and never had a single issue with them whatsoever. Along with that, you want a privacy tent. You can pick up one of the cheap pop-up ones, and they work, but they're pretty flimsy, and I guarantee you that they will blow over in no time if you don't stake them down. And I guarantee you'll want internet access in the middle of nowhere to watch a YouTube video on how to fold that thing back up. Been there, done that. We laughed, we cried, we almost burned it in anger. It's one of those things that it just takes a second to figure out, but in the middle of the woods, I guarantee you're going to forget. So a better option is the Caddis Rapid Privacy Tent. It's sturdy, it's larger, and it's also got a couple things to look out for though. So go for the ones that are automatic and don't require you to piece poles together. Also make sure to get the 4-foot by 4-foot model. I actually initially bought the 5-foot square model, and that thing is huge. It's the Taj Mahal. I've been at campsites where I'd be hard pressed to actually find room for it. It's honestly that big. So go with the 4-foot. And to go along with that cool new tent, check out the portable showers. You can have a tent do double duty here. For some reason, we put off getting a shower for a really long time, but when we got it, we wondered why we waited so long. We tried body wipes, and they do work, but they kind of leave a residue, and you never really feel totally clean, especially after a full day of overlanding or hiking. We also tried the budget battery-powered non-heated showers, and never ended up honestly using them, because at the end of a long, dusty trek, we were never up for a freezing cold shower, and you can call it refreshing and invigorating all you want. We called it cold and always passed on that. So we got a Camplux portable heated shower unit. They run off propane and use a solar generator battery pack to power the water pump and spark the ignition for the internal propane burner. Truly, nothing beats a hot shower in the middle of the woods after a long day on the trail. This truly is the biggest bougie overlanding flex there is, seriously. But it really is nice to go to bed truly clean and refreshed. There are a couple different units available, so be sure to get the one with a pump included. You'll see some cheaper units for around $130, and don't be tempted to get one. I actually made that mistake. I had to return it. They don't come with a pump. They're meant to be hooked up to like a garden hose or other permanent pressurized water source, so make sure you get the ones with the pump. So for around $185, you can get the 1.32 gallon per minute unit. You might see some units with a higher flow rate, but if it's for overlanding, honestly, I'd suggest the 1.32 gallon per minute. A 20-liter jerry can of water is barely enough for 2 people with that flow rate. It goes really fast, even when you try to use it sparingly. So Camplux actually also has a higher end unit for $399 that's more self-enclosed, but if I were to do it all over again, I would honestly get that unit. The base unit for $185 is nice, but it takes a fair bit of setup. It's honestly, it's just enough where you kind of sigh when you draw the short straw to set up the shower. So if you can swing it, just go get the nicer one. It's way faster. It's self-enclosed. It comes with a battery included. It's just an easier setup, and I would definitely go that route if I were to do it again. Okay, so next we have diesel heaters. And there are countless cheap diesel heaters on the market, and they all work for the most part. But they quickly honestly become a pain to set up. They can be noisy with their tick, tick, tick all night. That really bugs some people. I honestly don't mind it too much, but it's there. And if you've ever tried to install that exhaust hose in a cold and then try and balance that heater on some rocks, you really know what a pain it can be. And then worst of all, honestly, most of them are really flimsy and they're gonna leak diesel fuel every single time you go off-roading. I've gotten diesel all over the truck and myself, and diesel smells bad. And if you get it on your hands or your clothes, you're pretty much stuck with that smell for the rest of the night. It takes a lot to wash it off. I don't know why, it just does. So I suggest you check out the diesel heaters from LF Bros. They're super high quality, extremely durable. The exhaust line actually comes out the side of the unit as opposed to underneath. And best of all, they use a traditional gas cap, so the unit won't leak. I have no idea why other companies don't do that. Now, to be completely transparent, this is the one product on the list that I don't own. Yet. It's at the top of my Christmas list. I've watched countless reviews of these heaters, and in a sea of products that all look exactly the same and look like honestly they come from the same factory and they just slap a different sticker on them, LF Bros stands out. You can tell they've really thought about, ways to improve on the diesel heaters, and it definitely looks like they've done it. They don't cost much more than the really cheap units, so just check them out. I'll have a full review of it very soon. So the next one is something that I haven't honestly seen anybody else talk about. And what better way to say I love you than with radioactive materials? What? Yeah, okay. Hear me out. So Glow Rhino makes the Spark. It's a glow-in-the-dark keychain fob, but they don't just glow in the dark, they contain tritium. And if you're familiar with night sights on pistols, you'll be familiar with tritium. Yes, it's technically radioactive. No, it's not dangerous in any way. Tritium's been used for years, and it's been tested to be 100% safe. So, what do I use these for? What we actually do is we attach these to all our rooftop tent zipper pulls. And if your tent has that blackout fabric material, these things are a lifesaver for that middle of the night emergency bathroom run. Glow Rhino has a number of different colors and options available. I like the Spark series, and they retail for around $12 a piece. And they offer some bundle packs as well. Once you get some, you'll have 18 other uses for them, I guarantee. I put them on backpacks, first aid kits, keychains, pretty much everything. So check out the links below and pick some up. Okay, let's talk fridges. There's a lot of options on the market, but my personal favorite is Iceco. They've been the industry leaders, and we've had our Iceco JP40 43-quart portable fridge for over 5 years now, and that thing has not missed a beat. It's seen it all. It's been bounced around in the back of the Gladiator more than once, and honestly, it's held up great. I've had no problems whatsoever. And Iceco's new line of fridges, they're bomb-proof and truly a must-have for every Overlander. The APL 55 is clearly the new hotness. It looks really sharp, it really does, and it's extremely durable and reliable. But Iceco does offer a ton of other options at every price point, so just be sure to check those out. So next we have navigation. The last thing you want to do is get lost in the middle of nowhere. So be sure to have the #1 off-roading app, OnX. You can get access to over 550,000 miles of off-road trails, complete with all the details you'd ever want. Difficulty levels, photos, trail durations, open and closure dates. So there's honestly no more guessing. Along with that, OnX shows public and private land boundaries, so you know exactly where you can and can't go. And the maps, you've got satellite, topo, even 3D views. Plus they've loaded over 500,000 recreation points like campgrounds, river access, and trailheads. And if you're going somewhere where there's no cell service, it's not a problem. You can actually download all the maps offline so you're covered no matter how deep in the backcountry you go. So check out OnX Off-Road. I've got links to that as well as all these other products in the description below. Okay, so let's talk off-road lighting. Your options are either really cheap lights that won't last or lights that are way overkill for 99% of people out there with a price tag to match. For me, I've been running lights from Superee. I've gotten to know some of the folks over at Superee, and they make a great product at a very competitive price. I've got a review of the 5-inch round off-road lights on my channel. You can check that out. They've also got a full line of Jeep lights and accessories. So last up is fire starters. Honestly, we all know nothing sucks more than trying to start a fire when it's wet. So what you need is a good fire starter from the good people over at Blackbeard Fire Starters. They have a couple different types, but they're all waterproof, compact, and they burn for a really long time. And best of all, they're made in the USA. So go check them out in the links below. So guys, that wraps up this 2024 gift guide. Be sure to check out all the links below for more information on each of these products and why to buy these in time for Christmas. Buying through the links in the description does help out the channel and allows us to keep making content. I really appreciate it. I do want to say no one paid me to mention any of these products in any way. These are all products that we use, are really looking at, and have seen really good things in terms of overlanding, and we take pretty much all of these on every trip. So on behalf of everyone at OTR Overland, I just really want to say have a happy holidays and enjoy some time with family. But most importantly, be sure to get out there and go overlanding so you can see what's over the ridge.